It is a signing day special here of the Orange and Blue Report presented by the UVA Health System alongside the head coach Bronco Mendenhall. I'm Dave Kane, and of course, Coach, you guys have a lot to do this time of year, and even more than last year, fortunately, with bowl preparation underway, Navy coming up on December the 28th. But right now, we're going to talk a little bit about the future of Virginia football, because here it is. It's early signing day. It's the first time we've seen a December 20th signing day. Let's start there. What are the ramifications of that? How does it change the game and the approach to what you do?
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows yet for sure what the ramifications are. I can say what the intent of the rule was. As being part of the AFCA board and kind of at the epicenter of how this all started, the idea was simply to make recruiting more efficient, that this would clear up and clean up the remainder of recruiting from December through January to allow each school to then be more clear on who's gettable and who's not, and to fulfill their needs. And again, if it plays out like that, I don't think any of us know yet.
Like so many areas, it is a brave new world in college sports. As we take a macro approach to looking at this 2018 signing class, we'll talk a little more specifics with some of your assistants here shortly, but in terms of the overarching goals of this group of student athletes that you'll be bringing in, what stands out to you?
Well, I think, again, I love considering the big picture, and when you're building a program, and it's normal for us to be preparing for a bowl game. It's normal to be balancing that against recruiting. It's normal for us to be fulfilling needs, and it's so much more rewarding and invigorating to be in that place that feels normal to us than a year ago, which was abnormal. And I hope, and our intent is for it to be like this continuing forward at Virginia. The way that it's been explained to my coaches is simply better than, not equal to. That means each specific year, anything we do in the program, our intent is for it to be better than, not equal to, what we had just done. And so that would mean how our current and returning players are conditioned, how our current and returning players are performing, how our current and existing players perform in the classroom, and in terms of leadership, all areas of their life, which also means that our 17 class, as it was foundational, our 18 class, we expect, and I expect, for that to exceed in ability in every area that of our 17 class. That does not mean I don't like our 17 class. They get the chance to be developed in our developmental program to not let the 18 class catch them. And so you always want that friction and that stress point of players and people trying to grow and become better than, not equal to, where they currently are, and that's what our approach is.
One of the reasons you came to Virginia in the first place was it is a unique place. In a lot of ways, you have some unique selling points here to Virginia. Talk to us a little bit about what goes into recruiting these guys to come to the University of Virginia in the first place.
It's a world-class education in an area surrounded and just with history dripping off of it, with a chance to really become and do anything you want to do in a program that needs and wants qualified and skilled people, and we're in a deficit. And so when you have a chance to be needed and wanted and to make a difference, and that strikes a chord for any of us that really like a challenge. When the players come and the families come, they get to see myself and my family in an authentic view. So it's my favorite time because I'm not really recruiting. I'm saddling horses, I'm riding around the property, I'm throwing a fishing line in the water on my property, and the recruits are doing that with me. And so really recruiting on campus is just, I'm living my life, which is, I don't have to be or do, or I'm just me, which is, I think, the best way for a family to decide if they want to come to UVA and to get a clear and transparent view is we're not pretending, which so much of recruiting is.
Yeah, there's no smoke screens here at the University of Virginia. Now, when we look at this group, and we'll talk more specifically about Bryce Perkins, Brennan Armstrong, two quarterbacks that change a little bit of the mold of what we've seen in recent years here at UVA. But I'm curious, from your perspective, when you start to get some of the pieces as you envision this program looking down the road and even closer maybe in these coming years, how does that change the product of what folks will start to see on the field next year based on what's coming in?
Yeah, for almost any head coach, when there's a change, there's usually a couple of groups, position groups, that have led to that more frequently than any other. Quarterback and offensive line are usually the two groups that have more to do with coaching changes than anything else. In our case, it was no different. We were in a deficit at quarterback, and maybe style of play in matching that to the offensive line depth and capabilities. And then I would say defensive line, so the interiors, which is really the core of how you build and develop a program through practice, is having enough big people you can play against each other in this physical mindset. So anyway, Kurt Benkert, through Ruffin McNeill, became the best available quarterback, and he's exceptional, in my opinion. And I think on draft day, others will start acknowledging, holy cow. And he has a Senior Bowl invite, which is already, his stock just keeps going up. But we've been playing a style of football to highlight what his capabilities are, and that's throwing the football. And that's matched best what the rest of our team had to do on the way to what we want to do. What we want to do is become a dual threat football team, much like we were with Taysom Hill at Brigham Young.
Just for folks that maybe aren't as familiar with how you evaluate talent and what you judge, look, the ratings are one thing, these external forces in terms of giving guys the stars, but I know it's certainly not the roadmap you follow.
Yeah, I really have zero interest in the stars, and that will immediately turn some of our fans off and others. And here's the thing, I and my staff know exactly what we're looking for to play the positions that we have available on our team. We know the exact intangibles that need to be shown. We know the exact heights and weights, as well as the grit and the academics and the character necessary. That's specific to UVA, and this thought that what works at one place works at another, that also assumes that every place has the same resources at the same stage of their program, which none of that's accurate. And so what I'm interested in, again, we just simply call it and, the best players possible to help us win an ACC championship, who want a world-class degree, will graduate, and in something that they'll use, while they give back to the community and become exceptional leaders. Star rating takes not one iota of accountability into what character looks like. It doesn't address grades. There's no factor that addresses work ethic. The only thing the star says is what they think the potential athletically is. It's University of Virginia. That's one component. So where are the stars for the rest of it? So my job is to put the stars across the board in my own frame, in my own time, and ultimately that leads to postseason play in year 2, and then hopefully more after that.
Yeah, well, we'll get a better idea for what that means specifically when we come back. We're going to talk with some of the assistant coaches. We'll talk with Kelly Poppinga coming back. Also, Garrett Tujague takes a closer look at the offense and some of the very specific pieces in place. So that's the and to our signing day special. There's more to come. We hope you stick around.